Hello, trading is closed on September 19th, 2024. We always start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, make our predictions. Just a reminder, my system gives targets, it doesn't give entries. The targets are support and resistance levels. They're used in addition to other forms of a technical analysis and not instead of them. It's my trading plan for Friday, September 20, 2024. Remember, my calls can be wrong. Trade at your own risk. Also, in the afternoon, I have personal business and won't be around, so I might not be taking as many trades as I normally do. Might not be risking my own money in the afternoon. Look for the pattern with the early low, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early high. We had this collapse yesterday afternoon. Collapse or not, I said without follow-through, it meant nothing. I said I was going to stop looking for places to go short, start looking for places to go long, and we said if we took this high out, that might do the trick. We also said if we did take it out, it might reverse. Here's what we said. We break out higher, I believe it. First move out of a long consolidation is often false. When I see a long consolidation like this, I assume it's a fourth wave of some degree. Now, it isn't always a fourth wave, but at least in the back of my mind, I'm thinking what happens after that might be a fifth wave followed by a reversal, and so it's at least possible. In the morning, we had an ultimate buy signal and an ultimate sell signal. When that happens, you normally don't go anywhere. At least in the morning, we still stayed within these yellow lines, and sometimes even late in the day, we're still within the yellow lines. You see this, you have higher targets and lower targets, but system warns you not to chase. We still have the lower target, which hasn't been hit, 5,700 cash even. Doesn't have to print tomorrow, but usually you don't have to wait long, and usually you get more than that. So ultimately, we're going to trade 5,700 and lower. Remember, I get about 150 of these a year, and one fails about every 3 years. So if you assume we're just going to be off to the races and never see that number print, you got the odds against you. In the afternoon, this move is called false, that drop is called false. That's played out. Earlier in the month, we had this reversal bar involving the lower Bollinger Band. When I see a reversal bar involving the lower Bollinger Band, particularly if it's flat, which this isn't, but usually you get a challenge, if not an actual touch, of the upper band. So we've now gone as far as we have to go. By that rule, it doesn't mean you have to stop here. It's a target. It's not a stop and reverse. But this has hit enough to satisfy the reversal. We finally traded over this trend line, which is nice, and that's a positive thing. We also traded over this channel. I don't think that's as positive. Moves outside of this channel just haven't lasted very long. Now we had blue A. We're looking for blue B, and we had an ABC here. But I said at the time that probably wasn't long enough, and blue B is probably black A, black B, and black C. I've had a heck of a time counting these waves, but I can at least count black B as being complete here if we stop here. Because if that's 0.618, A is exactly 1, so you have an ABC. So if we stop here, there could be a wave black C similar to wave black A. But if that's right, you're going to have to find some way to count this last wave up. If this is the last wave up, You can make this, forget the colors, just look at the letters. This could be an ABC, and if that's A and B and that's C, all the fibs work. And that's A. And if that's A and that's B and that's C, all the fibs work. And to make C work, I'd have to count it as a 5-wave structure. Well, that's 1. And wave 2 goes to correct almost all of 1, but not all of it. Wave 3 has a good fib ratio. I said long consolidations are often 4th waves. So if that's right, I have to find some way to count this as a 5-wave structure. Well, if we stop here, or so it's possible to count it as an ending diagonal triangle. You'll notice this high is it's a Fibonacci target of the prior consolidation. That's not Elliott. But if you set wave A equal to 100%, C is equal to 23.6, and if you multiply 23.6 by 0.618, and then multiply by 0.618 again, you get 9, and that's 9. So we have the fibs, we have the pattern. It's plausible to count this as an ending diagonal triangle for the 5th wave. Now again, just because that works doesn't mean it's the only thing that works. You won't know until the morning. I mean, we open up here and the count's all wet. That we don't know. It's really dependent upon these things only. But this is a stilt. That's half a diamond. If this is right, I mean, the target is to retrace the origin of the ending diagonal triangle. The origin's right here. So if that's the right count, we could have a left stilt down, undo all of today's gains. That doesn't mean you will, but certainly if you're long overnight, I would justify putting in a stop, because if that's the right count, that's your target, retracing all today's gains. And if that's the right idea, which we don't know yet, I mean, if that's the right idea, we're going to have a wave black C, which could be comparable to wave black A. Now again, we keep going up, all is forgiven. But that's might not be the only count, but it's a very plausible count. We also have a lower target. We also have gapping up higher highs and closing under all these highs. That's not what you want to see. You need confirmation. You really want to keep going higher if you're a bull. We start down, it could be a straight line drop. Doesn't have to be, but it certainly could be. Well, Friday's pattern has the early high regardless of where we open. There's a lower MEJT target. Ultimately, it should print. There's no time limit, but usually you don't have to wait long for those numbers. And that's 5,700 cash and lower. We gapped up, hit a higher high, but closed under midday highs. So if that's maintained at the open, that's a bearish pattern. Should lead to lower prices regardless of where we close. We keep going up, then forget what I said. Today's strong rally needs confirmation to be valid. Bulls need to see a print, at least a penny, over today's close. Maintaining a gap down would vitiate today's action, and there's a wave count which makes dropping right from the open plausible. Now, you won't know if the count's right till the open. But if it's right, you can't rule out gapping down, forming a diamond on stilts, because we have a stilt and half a diamond. The bulls are likely to have clear sailing ahead if we continue higher tomorrow, but as of now, we can't be assured of them having clear sailing at all. This is a risky pattern if you're long overnight. It's not guaranteed to break down, but if it breaks down, that's your target. It's the pattern at the early high. That doesn't tell us where we open. That's today's call.